Hello everyone and welcome back to CookieRun Cookie Trials in CookieRunOvenBreak with Ultra Galcone. And in this episode I'm going to show you how I finally managed to beat Chocobar Cookie's trial in the normal difficulty, aka the Diamond Rank. And if you like this kind of content, then be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss out anything that I put on this channel. Everything is free, you don't need to pay, and by subscribing you make this channel grow and flourish even more, which makes me happy so I can create more content for you to watch. So now let's go back to the actual trial itself. So Chocobar Cookie's trial takes place in a studio. You might have noticed it because there are cameras around, and also there's a camera that follows our movement every single time all the way until the end of the trial itself. And so far, in my experience in this particular cookies trial, this is definitely one of the hardest cookie trials. I would say it's in the top 10 definitely, although I'm not quite so sure in regards if this ends up in top 5 or even top 3 though. Yeah, it's quite tricky because her skill involves collecting all of these jellies while also activating the skill at the right time, and also making sure that it doesn't run out once you want to do the skill itself. You might have noticed there is a number on the top left of her, and that number is basically the amount of skills that she can do. And the most important thing in this particular cookies trial is we do not want the numbers turn to 0, or basically no numbers at all, because at certain points, as you might have noticed, there are lots and lots of bear jellies around, and we couldn't collect every single one of them if we tried it without any kind of her skill. So yeah, those numbers are really important. And you also might notice at the start of this particular cookies trial, the director, which is going to be the next playable character, is basically telling us the controls. So jump, and pressing the slide button equals she does the kick jump, and also if we press slide twice, therefore she does the slide attack. And yeah, that's the reason why we cannot waste any of these skills. Usually, if you have noticed a couple of times actually in my cookie trial, I nearly missed all of that. I nearly missed that booster. So yeah, the speed boost is going to be your absolute best friend in this particular cookies trial, because it simply speeds up her skill and also makes her skill reach further and therefore destroys obstacles further. And if in this case of this particular cookies trials, it also allows us to collect even more of those bear jellies. And yeah, we almost reached the end of this particular run, and I haven't talked about the treasure set yet. Oh, there you go. I missed those, and yeah, that's actually pretty bad. That's the one thing that you do not want to do on this particular cookies trial. And yep, there you go. We got the diamond rank for the very first time, and we got 595 million points, which is not bad but not that good either. So yeah, let's move on into the part where I'm going to run this trial once again, but this time I'm going to use one of the legendary treasures. So now here we are trying to conquer this trial once again, but I'm going to use one of the legendary treasures. But before I explain about the treasure set that I'm going to use in this particular run with legendary treasure, I want to explain a bit about the treasure set that I used earlier. So on the left is the Haunted Snuggly Bear. This is the treasure where if you collect a certain amount of bear jellies, it will summon ghost bear jellies and it will grant you more points basically. On the middle one is the Rambutan Handler Glove. That's quite a bit of mouthful because there is a lot of red bear jellies in order to be collected. And last but not least, the treasure set on the right side, earlier it was the Giant Super Bean. It was a treasure that if you collect a certain amount of bear jellies, it will make some bear jellies bigger, and therefore it makes more points. But on this particular run, I switched the Giant Super Bean into the Lamp of Endless Dream. That is the official name of this treasure, or as what I like to call it, the purple treasure, or in some cases, the Jean legendary treasure. And yeah, apparently this trial takes place in a studio, as I said earlier, and apparently it is cowboy-based theme, although her outfit is resemblance of the character from Kill Bill. It was the girl one with yellow jumpsuit, and I have no idea why Devsisters decided to make this as the official outfit for her, as like the standard basic one. And the super epic costume one, it turns her into a cowboy shooter. It reminds me of Rye Cookie so much because, yeah, sadly we do not get Rye Cookie in this particular update. But yeah, we can only hope that someday, one day, Rye Cookie will be playable in CookieRunOvenBreak. Although despite having a cowboy outfit and guns on her official artwork about that costume, apparently she still kicks around though. Which totally makes sense because in the lore she was supposed to be a stuntman, or in this case a stuntwoman for Shine Muscat Cookie. So the story goes that Shine Muscat Cookie could not make it into the filming studio because she got delayed due to her plane being delayed, and therefore she needs to act the same way as she does. And the theming can go really wild because at some point we go to this cowboy theme and then turn into Lord of the Rings. I'm not kidding. And then we go into, how can I put this? It's like a romantic movie or something like that. I have no idea. I think it's referencing La La Land for some reason. I have no idea about the last movie though. Anyway, that is it from me. I'm Altroy Galcon, signing it off, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.